60 Minutes Rewind.
In these final 2 weeks, Hillary Clinton is leading in most of the states that will decide the presidential election. But in the one state that nearly always gets it right, she is in a dead heat with Donald Trump. We decided to ask Ohio what it thought, because Ohio has picked the winner in every election since 1964, and no Republican has ever won without Ohio. All of the issues converge on the Buckeye State, especially foreign trade, which is undermining industry. Among the steel mills, suburbs, and inner city of Cleveland, we found a political identity crisis as the state that nearly always predicts the president becomes unpredictable. A job at the mill was a birthright in Lorain, Ohio for 121 years. In 1895, the spark of the American century ignited the blast furnace, and the plant, 2 miles long, forged the rails, the drilling pipe, the weapons, and the wonders of the 20th century.
Oh my, it was wonderful. We were making steel, we were making money.
Making steel was all Carlos Hernandez knew for 28 years. But 7 months ago, he and 542 others punched the clock for the last time as cheap Chinese steel helped silence the furnace in a new century that he fears may not be America's.
It was just a funeral procession coming out to the gate, knowing that you never was coming back. You know, we sacrificed time with our families to try to make this company succeed. And this is what it's come to. Just a ghost town, just a rusted, empty, meaningless place right now.
The meaning of this election is chewed over at George's Family Restaurant, where the roof, there beyond the sign, hyphenates the name of the place into "You Rant." And do they ever?
Trump, I don't trust him. You imagine if he's the president of the United States, what he's going to do behind closed doors with women, with his secretaries or his,
You mean like Bill Clinton did?
It's done and over with. Why you keep bringing it up?
Carlos for Trump and Audi for Clinton have been married 36 years. They're hoping for 37. I'm sorry I wasn't there when you two sat down together to watch the first debate.
Oh, we couldn't sit together.
No, he sits in his bedroom and sit in front of the TV.
And then we come back and forth and argue and argue.
I go
You
over
couldn't
there.
watch the debate together?
No.
Carlos and Audi are raising 2 grandchildren. He's on unemployment, but they're going broke slowly on her fast food salary.
It just shows how we're losing our jobs, how things are moving away. You know, everybody's saying about how illegal aliens are coming in and taking our jobs and stuff like that. Well, the jobs are moving. They don't need to come here anymore. Jobs are going to them.
And so when you hear Donald Trump saying the same thing about jobs, what do you think?
But that's what resonates with me, what he has to say.
But it doesn't with Audi. Why not? He's
trust him.
talking about bringing the steel industry back, bringing the coal industry back,
Hillary can do
stop
that. We can
those
do that,
jobs
you
from
know.
going to Mexico.
That's what he says. I just don't trust him. I don't like him. And I don't believe in him at all.
When you hear Donald Trump say those things that he said on that videotape about women, how do you get past that? How can you get past that?
It's awful what he said, but I come from a steel industry. We all say things that we wouldn't be proud of saying in front of other people. But he didn't say it to him. He was talking with another guy. It was words, it wasn't action.
Audi, do you feel the same way?
No, I do not. Trump is a liar, number one. Number two, he's constantly on Hillary about Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton is not running for president. Another thing they were passed, and we should just forget about it, is the whole email thing. It's done and over. She apologized, it's done. Just move on.
Yeah, but that has...
I let you talk.
But the text of the speeches that she gave to Wall Street high rollers, and she said, well, you know, in this world you have to have a public position and you have to have a private position. That feeds into that sense that many people have that she's not trustworthy.
I believe in her. I do. Compared to him, that he's such a pig, because to me he's a pig.
This is Ohio in a Buckeye shell, the most even split in any state. people divided in their marriages, and even within themselves. You are as Republican as they come.
I am.
Social conservative, very religious. You are not with Donald Trump.
I am not.
There's none of the rust in white-clabbered Portage County.
We still got to get your teeth brushed and make
Sindra Cole, mother of 4 with one on the way, has managed Republican campaigns. You're sitting in this interview rooting for your party's nominee to lose.
Is that bad? It's bad, right?
You tell me.
Yeah.
Even her lawn is divided, where her neighbors have made their stand.
The very first time that I very sincerely said I will not vote for that man was when he mocked the reporter with special needs.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
I had a really hard time with that because as the mother of a child with special needs, I know how hard we work every day for her to do things that others take for granted. And for somebody to trample on that, I just think that's inexcusable.
And it says what about character?
A lot.
In your view, is Donald Trump doing lasting damage to the Republican Party?
I think that the Republican Party can survive a Donald Trump candidacy. I have a really hard time believing that the Republican Party can withstand a Donald Trump presidency.
You might vote for Hillary Clinton.
I may.
Are you voting for Hillary Clinton or against Donald Trump?
You see, that's where I have a really big problem with this election. I don't want to be voting against somebody. I want to vote for somebody. I want them to tell me, I want Hillary Clinton to tell me what she's going to do for my daughters, not just because she's the first female president of the United States, but because she cares about women in a way that men can't understand.
But you're listening.
I'm listening. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
You're trying to
Yes,
get to
I'm trying to
the
get to a
place where you
place.
can vote for the Democratic candidate.
Yes.
And you can't believe you're saying that to
I
me.
cannot believe that I'm saying that.
The story will continue after this.
At Parkside Church, Sindra Cole and her family run into Republican orthodoxy. Tommy Joe Marsilio was once a county commissioner.
I trust Donald Trump. I trust him to protect this nation and keep my family safe. And I trust that he will not engage in behaviors that are concerning to me.
You have a daughter who's 15.
I do.
What do you tell her when she hears these things that Donald Trump has said about women?
Actually, before I had an opportunity to tell her anything, she gave me her opinion, which I thought was astute. And she said, you know, sometimes guys say things that are stupid, and I think that's an example. She says, Mom, don't you think everybody makes mistakes? And I said, yes, I do.
Why is Hillary Clinton not a more attractive candidate to you?
I don't trust her.
What has she done that leads you to find her untrustworthy?
I think the better question is, what has she done to make me trust her? And the answer is probably nothing. The emails are a problem, and I hate to be so bold about it, but it seems like there's one cover-up after another. Certainly Benghazi was mishandled, so mishandling a situation to start with is bad enough, but when you have a sustained pattern of behavior over a period of years, I don't trust anything she says. I don't believe she'll keep my family safe.
Let us go into the house of the Lord. I will bless the Lord.
For Clinton to have more than a prayer in Ohio, she needs enthusiasm among African Americans. And you think African Americans in Ohio are going to go to the polls in the numbers they did for President Obama?
That's our job, is to make sure that they do.
But you know that this is one of those definitive elections.
Pastor Jawanza Colvin spreads the gospel of the ballot around his Olivet Institutional Baptist Church. Hillary Clinton spoke here. Donald Trump was not invited. But isn't this exactly what Donald Trump is arguing, that the Democrats have let your community down? So why not make a change? Take a chance.
Well, I think the question is, what's the alternative? I have not heard anything from Mr. Trump and have not heard anything in terms of his rhetoric that offers anything of promise. Just even the language that he used, the African Americans, just the language itself, to me, evokes a notion of distance and disconnect.
Colvin worked the neighborhoods to get out the vote. Lisa Tolbert said, "Count on me." Do you feel a difference in your enthusiasm in this election as opposed to the last one and the one before that when Barack Obama was running?
That was a historic election. That was, you know, you finally had a good candidate and he happened to be black. So that gave it an extra excitement.
There was nobody who was going to keep you out of the polls.
This is a necessity.
Are you enthusiastic about Hillary Clinton, or are you just voting against Donald Trump?
I don't know if I'm very enthusiastic about her. I do think she's qualified. Looking at her resume, she is qualified.
But you'd really like to have another option.
If there was another option, and I believe she could do the job.
When African Americans vote in large numbers in Ohio, Ohio votes Democratic.
Yes.
And when they don't come to the polls, Ohio votes Republican.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
I'm going to pray that they come to the polls. I'm going to...
But you're not feeling that groundswell.
I'm not hearing it.
I think it's kind of voting this time. We're going to have to pick one or the other, and it's kind of like picking a seat on the Titanic. I'd rather have other choices.
These men and Lisa Tolbert should have Hillary Clinton in common. This is the United Steelworkers Local 1104, and the only picture of a president on the wall is FDR's. At the door, the leadership backs Clinton, but a sign doesn't paper over jobs lost to trade and the outrage of laid-off men. So, show of hands, how many Trump voters do we have? Okay, there are 3, and Hillary Clinton voters?
I'm undecided. I'm not sure which one I want to go for yet.
Carlos Hernandez joined Greg Cedar, Wayne Townsend, Tom Morris, and Craig Cooper. Craig, what did you want to hear in the debates?
Just basically that, you know, that they're starting to watch out for us as Americans. It just seems like they're so involved with themselves that we as a people don't matter anymore. We're just, you know, we're here as pawns and they want our votes, and after they get our votes, they're like, okay, thank you, see you later, bye.
These men are in a college program to retrain workers who lose their jobs due to trade deals. Greg Cedar looked a little lost, like a farmer in the Dells.
It goes back to the days when Democrats were always for unions and Republicans were against. We need jobs, and we're desperate enough. We'll take them, whoever's going to give them.
The idea of getting a good job like we have at a young age and working it for 30 years and getting the American dream of having a house, a car, and a child and a family, and retiring at a decent age before you're too old and too crippled to enjoy it is gone because of trade deals.
I've said for the last couple months, there's billions of people in the United States, and these are the 2 best people that we can get to lead us. I just find that hard to believe. I really do.
That one is peanut butter Oreo. What kind do you want, buddy?
Ohio nearly always picks the president because it's a mix of American ingredients, part north, part south, part farm, part factory. But for those shopping this time, 2016 is like making a choice when they're fresh out of your favorites. I wonder, on November the 8th, is there any chance you're just going to say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out?
No.
I can't do it.
No, I have to at least go to the polls to vote for Rob Portman.
The senator of Ohio, the Republican senator of Ohio. You're interested in the down ballot races.
I'm very interested in the down ballot races, and I think that's one of the ways that we as Republicans can overcome a Hillary Clinton presidency.
So there's an even chance, at least, that you're going to vote for Hillary Clinton and then vote for Rob Portman in hopes that he can stop her policies.
Yes.
And that is politics in 2016.
It is, yes.